And now, ladies and gentlemen, he's been on our show quite a few times. Very interesting guy. And yes, he is a Cowboys fan. We are now talking to co-founder of All-22 Fantasy Football, the one and only Ray Cotto. Ray, what's up?
Good evening. Good to be back. How's everyone doing?
We're good, man. Obviously, you're a fantasy guy. I know you're a Cowboy guy. Did you check out the Netflix All-American team over there of the Dallas Cowboys? Did you check out all 8 episodes?
I haven't yet, and you made a really impassioned pitch in the last segment about it because I'm sort of in the I hate everything Jerry Jones is doing right now, don't care, sign Micah type of mode. And you made me consider sort of putting that aside and begrudgingly giving in to exactly what Jerry wants, which is to watch his little Netflix special because he cares about that type of stuff more than
I disagree with you. And I think Jerry Jones, he does spend his money in weird different areas over the last couple of years. He gives Dak Prescott $60 million. I think Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. Where are you going at that position? CeeDee Lamb, you got George Pickens for practically nothing. You're going to have to pay him. And I understand that Cowboy fans want Micah Parsons back. But Micah Parsons wants a big contract, and I still think he's going to give in. I still think he's going to pay Micah Parsons. So I know Cowboy fans need to hold up before the next couple of weeks. I think one way or another they're going to settle, just like Darrelle Revis and the New York Jets did at the tail end of the preseason. So I do believe Micah Parsons is going to get the contract. But I'm going to tell you guys this right now, and all you Cowboy fans or even football football fans out there, if you don't like the Cowboys or you like the Cowboys or you're interested in documentaries, this documentary is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. Cowboys or not. It could be the Pittsburgh Steelers. It could be the New York Jets. It could be the New York Giants. This documentary really shows you why the Cowboys have changed the NFL. They changed the NFL in the 90s. They gave you what you wanted to see when it comes to dynasties, and it kind of brought the presentation of why the New England Patriots and what the New England Patriots did after them even more interesting, more fantastic, the way they dominated the way they did. So if you're interested in documentaries and back ends of understanding why Jerry Jones who he was and how he made his millions and how he transformed the Cowboys into a franchise that is the richest franchise in professional sports. Go look at it. The Yankees are the second. The Cowboys are number one. He bought that team for $150 million off an oil rig. That's what he did. He got lucky. He was borrowing tens of millions of dollars. I said 50 million, but tens of millions of dollars from banks. He was in a situation where he was talking about killing himself. And then he hit it large with the oil rig, made $100 million, and then borrowed $50 million from a bank. And he had to pay $300,000 because of a coin flip. And bought one of the biggest, most impressive organizations and programs we have seen over the last, I would say, 50 years of professional sports. It's a very interesting story, dynamic, and if you're not a Cowboy fan, you definitely got to check it out. So I'm telling you, you can hate the Cowboys all you want to, hate Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has changed football. He's made football what it is today, and why you're seeing all this money being brought to the forefront in the Super Bowl. Think about it. Commercials, $5-10 million for 30 seconds. Why do you think the NFL is getting that kind of money for commercials? Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is behind everything. For all the owners that we have spoken about that couldn't stand Jerry Jones and that were suing him for $500 million, Jerry Jones is the reason why these owners are billionaires. It's Jerry Jones. He was the one that brought Nike to the forefront. He is the one that brought in Doritos and all those companies. So I know people don't like him. I know people can't stand the Cowboys because they're America's team. But without Jerry Jones in 1989 buying the Cowboys, I don't think the NFL would be the NFL today without him. So that's my take on it. And when I got a chance to see that and understand it a little bit more in depth, I was surprised about why the Cowboys are so very important to the NFL now and for the future. And you see Dak Prescott, why he's making $60 million and he's the highest paid quarterback right now in the NFL. Jerry Jones. So anyways, let's get to fantasy because fantasy is the big story right now. There's a lot of fantasy leagues being put together in the next couple of weeks. Your thoughts on the running back position. Why do you think a specific running back should be picked first, second, or third?
I hate chasing stocks. This is what we're doing, but I mean, it has to be Saquon until it's not. I know the whispering and the chatter about he's not going to have as big of a workload and so on and so forth, but it's Saquon until it's not. And that's just the way it is. I mean, if Derrick Henry were a couple of years younger and had the same type of year he put up last year, I could hear the argument for Derrick Henry, but until it's not, it's Saquon Barkley as the clear number one back, number one overall pick, if you want to call it that for traditional fantasy. He's the guy. He's still an electric playmaker in the receiving game as well as the running game. They still have that style of offense that opens things up and makes it easier for running backs with that sort of zone read. Jalen Hurts' ability with his legs to open things up right up the gut of the defense, along with those two top weapons on the outside. Still, all the ingredients are still there. So if Saquon's getting 21 touches a game instead of 26, so be it. That doesn't change the projection for me.
So you got him one. Who's number 2 and number 3?
Oh gosh, it's still got it, and I hesitate to say this, but it has to be Derrick Henry. And the age scares me because when the cliff comes, it happens quick. It happens very quickly, and I mean, it happened with the best of talents. Julio Jones, I know it's a different position we're talking about here, but I can't in good conscience. If you don't take Derrick Henry here and he does what he does, he just looks silly when he's stiff-arming defenders into the turf still at the third level. They still don't want to tackle him. So at the end of the day, same thing with Saquon. All the ingredients are still there for Derrick Henry to have another monster season. So again, I have him at 2. And then 3, it's a toss-up between Gibbs and Bijan, the two young guys. I think the excitement with Atlanta and that offense maybe opening up a bit more under Penix for a full season sort of gives the edge to Bijan Robinson there. But it's really close. I'm a huge fan of Gibbs. I put those two in that same tier. So I like to think of it more as tiers instead of just a sort of numerical ranking there. And so to me, I have Bijan and Gibbs in that same tier. Elite young running backs just sort of hitting their stride and getting into their prime on what we anticipate to be good offense.
Now, Ray, I'm a big fantasy guy, especially when it comes to football. And the first 2 rounds, I always go running back. Always go running back because there's not enough running backs out there. And usually there are stupid people that will go quarterback in the first round. Some people go after Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, like the idiots that they are. Even though they're great players and they're in a PPR league or a quarterback league, you need those kind of guys. But you don't really draft a quarterback usually until the 3rd or 4th round if they're Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. But that's why I am asking you, where do you go with running backs in the first round? Because that's where I go. I give everybody my secrets. I go running back in the first round, running back in the second round every single time. And everybody wants to know my madness and my method and why I'm pretty good when it comes to fantasy. It's always running back because there's not enough out there. Maybe you'll get lucky and you'll find one or a second-tier running back because the number 1 string goes down and this guy shows up. We've seen it with the Browns over the last couple of years. You'll find somebody in what do they call it? A needle in the rough or whatever, a needle in a haystack where a guy comes out of nowhere and it becomes a pretty good
needle in the rough.
No, you know what I mean. Dude, I'm dealing with vertigo tonight. I've been sick all show and I am trailing through this, and I got to give myself a little bit of credit that I'm dealing with it and I'm doing it so fucking well. Excuse my language, but that needle in a haystack, I always look at the running backs as an important first round, second round type of topic because you giving me Saquon Barkley. Yeah, I think Saquon Barkley is so very important, but am I going to trust that Saquon Barkley is going to stay healthy this year? We've seen it back-to-back years, Saquon Barkley. I'd be a little scared over there. A little scared going after Saquon Barkley in the first round.
I get it, but bro, Saquon's an exception. He's a Penn Stater, so you're not going to get me to move off of him. It's just not going to happen.
I forgot you went to Penn State.
But I mean, he is an alien, and what we saw last year is what we would have seen if he was on any sort of competent offense or in any sort of competent system for the first half decade of his career, when he wasn't just being wasted away in that wasteland behind the Giants' offensive line. In that just the whole roster was in shambles. So again, I think. I usually subscribe to those theories and thought processes, but at the same time, you have to recognize an exception when there is an exception, and there are very few exceptions in the game. And honestly, the exceptions are Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. And I'd rather go, bet my house on those types of exceptions than the 5'8" wide receiver who runs a 4'6" exception who has a lot of production in college. I'll lay my bet on Saquon and Derrick Henry and the guys with those traits who maybe are just doing it a bit longer than we're used to nowadays than those types of,
I like
the
the
other
kid.
end of
I like the
spectrum,
kid from Boise State. I don't know.
He's 4'6", so he's not an exception. He's damn good.
You just want to
He's taller than Maurice Jones-Drew. He's fine.
I'm just saying. I'm going out. If you're trying to reach, I'm going after a rookie where you can get him in the third or fourth round, and he could be a star this year. I love him. I love him coming out of the draft and being one of the more elusive and two-way kind of backs that we've seen come out of draft. He reminds me of 𝐵𝐵𝐺𝐻𝑒an Robinson. I think a better version of 𝐵𝐵𝐺𝐻𝑒an Robinson. That's what I think.
Well, yeah, he had I think the highest athletic grade, him and 𝐵𝐵𝐺𝐻𝑒an, since Adrian Peterson. So it's crazy. So I want to shift from the running back position to the tight end. Brock Bowers and Trey McBride, the effects of that last year had for them. I was big Trey McBride. Like, I got him a year earlier in 23, like before ertz got hurt. And it really helped me. And I drafted him a lot last year too. And then Bowers, insane year. Getting second round grades, like probably the first time we've seen that since Gronk and Jimmy Graham. Like, do you buy into that? Was that a strategy you would go for?
I like to get typically like the third best tight end or the fourth best tight end. I don't like to be the first guy to take a tight end. If we're talking just a traditional redraft single season type of platform, because you can typically get similar production a half round, a full round later than whoever chases the top stock there. But overall, the tight end position is deeper than it's been in recent years. It used to, it still does typically take tight ends until their age 26 season, age 27 season before they really hit their stride. You think of guys like David Njoku, for example, who people had written off, but in reality, he entered the NFL at age 20, and it felt like he was in the league for a long time, but really he hit his prime when normal players hit their prime at age 25 and became a big time factor. So I don't like to be the first. I know I love Brock Bowers as much as the next guy. But if I could take George Kittle a round later in that offense in San Francisco, where I think it's going to be a more concentrated show with Kittle and Ricky Pearsall at wide receiver, who people aren't talking about enough there, I'll happily take the value.
There's nothing to talk about. San Francisco is going to fall flat on their face.
They might not be a good team, but those are two really productive players.
Dude, this is the year where I get a chance to go out there in front of everybody, including Owen the Tick, and say, I told you so. I have been telling people over and over and over and over again that San Francisco is going to fall flat on their face. This is the year, ladies and gentlemen. No more Deebo Samuel. He's over there in Washington. They're not getting their star wide receiver until the 8th week or 7th week of the NFL season, and you're going to bet on George Kittle and Ricky Pearsall? Give me a break.
You're talking falling. But Ray, he's talking falling on their face. Those dudes are still going to get you points for fantasy, and I think that's what we're talking about.
That's
He's
fine.
waiting for Kyle Shanahan.
That's fine.
They kind of fell on their face last year. They were.
That's what I'm saying.
Last year.
When was the last time you've seen San Francisco and not make the playoffs back-to-back years? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this will be one of very first times since the 90s, the late 90s, when the team started falling flat on their face when they were really bad. When no more Jerry Rice, no Steve Young, no Joe Montana, and they were trying to find their way out, and they got Terrell Owens. Oh, and by the way, they traded him too. So, that's when the 49ers just really were not a very good franchise. So I know what you're saying, Jabba. I understand what you're saying. They're going to get you points. I mean, there is Christian McCaffrey over there too. You forgot about him. He is a pretty explosive running back as well. He'll definitely be in the top 4, top 5 guys when it comes to list of guys that you're going to want to draft. But nevertheless, if you're going to bet that he is going to be that all-world type of running back with this offensive line that really stands to 2 guys, their guard and their tackle.
Their
Give
guard
me a
that's already
break.
hurt.
Yeah, I mean, this team is an absolute joke, and they brought back Bambi.
Future 49ers interim head coach. That's what he's hoping for.
I'm
McCaffrey's gonna
sorry.
be really good for
I'm losing my mind tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I have to laugh because our guy Fish over here who loves Kyle Shanahan, and then we have a guy named Owen that's been on this show quite a few times that loves the San Francisco 49ers and was complaining and bitching and moaning about Brock Purdy getting his contract, are now singing in the rain because there's not going to be much rain. There's just going to be a lot of snow, and they're going to have to be dug out because Kyle Shanahan's going to be looking for a new job, and it might be somewhere else at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. Come on, Kyle Shanahan. Ray, you could tell him. He's got influence all over the league with the offense that he created at half the league.
He hasn't won nothing. He stinks.
He'll
horrible.
be unemployed for about 10 minutes.
That's fine.
Yep. Yeah,
that's fine. Let him go somewhere else and lose somewhere else. Let him go to Atlanta, where he was the offensive coordinator and it cost them a Super Bowl. Great job, Atlanta. Great job. Good job.
A franchise who trades 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance would normally be in the abyss for a decade, and he just kept that ship afloat as best as he possibly could.
And he found Brock Purdy in the 7th round. He did find Brock Purdy in the 7th round.
He built Brock Purdy up after finding him in the 7th round. You take him away from Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy may end up being,
Daniel Jones.
McCown brother.
I just gave you the reason why Kyle Shanahan should be looking for a new job. What do people think? I'm like blind or I don't see what I'm seeing? I've been telling you guys this for a while. The guy's not good. Yeah, he's taking a team to a Super Bowl. They had talent there before he was even there. And now all of a sudden, Kyle Shanahan's his great offensive mind. He's never won anything. The guy's never won. Even as an assistant coach, even as an offensive coordinator, he's never won. So why is everybody... He's not Mike Shanahan. He's not his dad. Mike Shanahan won 2 Super Bowls. This guy won nothing. Oh, this guy's the mastermind. Sean McVay. Look at O'Connell. Look at McBride. The guy stinks. The guy's never going to win anything. He's a loser. Here it is. Owen, loser. I'm sorry, John. I just had to do that. I had to add that to the storytelling here.
Yeah, no, you're good. I mean, if we were talking about a whole team factor, I would agree with you, but they're still going to get you some points on the old fantasy roster. So I just want to get here just so I can hear Errol just lose it. I just want to ask your thoughts on Errol's favorite player. And I think his last name is Hunter.
Unicorn.
Self-proclaimed called him the unicorn.
No, the
Errol
gremlin.
likes to call him something else.
The gremlin. Travis the Gremlin Hunter.
Right, if you have any way to hack Errol's All-22 team, get him on his roster.
There it is, ladies and
I don't
gentlemen.
know AIs should be allowed to do that.
He is definitely one ugly SOB.
Parental controls on AR.
He is an
AI.
ugly man. He is really, really ugly. And by the way, I just want to give a shout out to Deion Sanders. He was great in that documentary too. I got to give him some credit. I didn't like Deion Sanders. I take back a lot of things about Deion Sanders. I give him a little bit more credit as a player because of his personality as a player. And I remember him as a player, but I didn't realize how much pizzazz he had when he played on a football field. And I got a chance to get to know him a little bit better watching the documentary. So I'll take back some of the things I said about him. Still, his son stinks, and Travis Hunter is one of the most overrated players in NFL history to come out of the draft. So eat it. Let's hear it, Ray. What is, like Jabba said, where do you see Travis Hunter, or may I say the Gremlin, to be this year?
I look forward to 25 years from now when the documentary about Travis Hunter comes out, you also saying something similar about gaining some more respect for him as a player, as a two-way player, all pro on both sides of the ball, because he is that type of talent. I do think...
Are you in drugs?
At least early on.
What are you
he's
smoking
probably
today?
going to spend more of a focus on the offense.
I mean, are you dealing with vertigo like I am? Because I mean, there you might be seeing 2 or 3. I mean,
he does play 2 positions on the field, so it feels that way at times.
That's fine.
Everything he could do for a team.
Well, the team and the organization's making a big mistake. You should not be putting him as a wide receiver. You should be putting him as a corner. And because they're doing that, it's going to throw him off. It's going to put him in a position to fail. As far as I'm concerned, the wide receiver to watch on that team, his name ends with a T, and that is Thomas. Brian Thomas, who I believe is the best young wide receiver right now in the NFL. He is going to explode off the paper this year, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a buyer, don't be a seller on this guy. And I want to know your opinion right now. I think he's Justin Jefferson-esque. He might even be better than Justin Jefferson. I think this guy is, in the next 2 years, is going to be known as the number one wide receiver in the NFL. Brian Thomas, where do you draft him? Is he a first-round pick, and where would you draft him?
Late first, high second. I think he's a different type of receiver. He's a bit more of, honestly, sort of like the Terrell Owens mode as far as, sort of the big plays he provides, but he's not necessarily and I know in his prime, T.O. was this guy, but Thomas isn't quite there yet, although he has the build and sort of physical makeup to eventually get there. But he's not necessarily the guy you pepper with targets, quick, over the middle type. That's not really him right now. He's still a take off the top off of the defense type of guy, make some big plays, yards after the catch, but not necessarily a 8 catch on 10 targets type of guy that sort of wears out the defense. So in that sense, some of the guys like a Justin Jefferson, a Jamar Chase, some of the other names at the top of that list, we'll see what the Lions offense looks like with Amon-Ra St. Brown now that they lost their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, over to the Bears. But that's another name where you can count on him having a ton of targets during the game and being able to sort of always keep you in it if he's on your roster and on your team. Brian Thomas Jr., maybe wide receiver 5 or 6 right now, but in any given week can finish as wide receiver 1 because he catches 2 60-plus yard touchdowns. That's the type of player he is. And then I think over time he becomes a top. He's almost there already, but a top 3 type of player or type of receiver.
Are you a
in the
specialist? League. You're the co-founder of All-22. We love you, okay? But are you blind? What's going on here? What's going on?
You got to give him time. You got to give him time.
He had Mac Jones.
He had Mac. Kyle Shanahan.
He had Mac. He's had enough time. He's had enough time over there in San Francisco. I don't want to see Kyle Shanahan anymore. Are you lost? I got vertigo right now. I'm throwing up. I've thrown up twice on this show. Okay, twice. And I think you're absolutely blind about this guy. Mac Jones was throwing this guy the ball last year. He had over 10 touchdowns and 1,200 yards. And you're going to tell me, well, he needs time to develop. What more does he need to develop? And now you add the gremlin to that team? Get out of here. What's going on with you, man?
He needs time to raise his floor in a given week from wide receiver 16 to wide receiver 8.
Floor.
Because his ceiling is already possible wide receiver 1. You just got to reduce the delta between the floor and the ceiling.
I'm going to give you the delta. I'm going to give you a smacker, okay?
And
what the hell is going on?
You mentioned Mac Jones. I think forgetting about Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence, I think the real key here is Liam Cohen and his offense, because we saw what he did with the wide receivers in Tampa Bay with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. So I know you want to just microwave this thing to success, but if it does, it's going to be Liam Cohen and the offense that he brings over there in Jacksonville, because I think the biggest beneficiary is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is my sleeper at quarterback. A lot of people have written him off way too soon.
Now you're losing it. Now you're absolutely out there.
I love this.
Well over your head. Where over your head. Are you really now talking about Trevor Lawrence, the overrated quarterback that was the number 1 pick of the draft? I don't know.
He's been overrated.
The guy stinks. The guy stinks.
Ray's going to draft Trevor Lawrence.
He's a hippie. That's what he is.
Have his biggest week of his
He should
22
smoke
season
weed and enjoy himself on the sidelines. The guy is so overrated.
Liam Cohen is going to make magic happen with that talent.
Is this the same Liam Cohen that didn't want the job? Is this the same Liam Cohen that actually went home to Tampa and said he doesn't want the job? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they fire the GM and they fire practically every single executive over there to give him the reins. Liam Cohen is not going to last more than 2 years over there. No coach ever lasts there more. They had Peterson there. That guy won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. Yes, he won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and it couldn't work over there. So stop this. You're going to actually sell me Trevor Lawrence, and then you're going to tell me that the Gremlin is going to be a great player. In 25 years, they're going to make a documentary of this idiot? The guy's an idiot. He's a jackass.
They got a documentary of him right now. They got a documentary of him already at Colorado.
You're right. The Gremlins 3. It's coming out next year. Are you kidding me? He is a horrible, horrible player. And I promise you, mark my words, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to take this back. In 6 6 years, the guy is going to be one of the worst at his position. It doesn't matter if he's a wide receiver. It doesn't matter if he's a corner. What a joke. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to send it to you. There was a I think a 10-minute take that I saw today, and most overrated draft picks of all time. Guess who they had in the top 5? Yes, the Gremlin. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it when I told you, or I'll tell you guys, I told you so. He stinks. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. For context, he also has a bet with 𝐿𝐻𝐾𝐽, where 𝐿𝐻𝐾𝐽 was saying I think he was going to get 3 interceptions or something, and Errol doesn't think he's going to get any.
No, he's not going to have one this year. He's not going to have one this year.
Probably going to have one if he plays.
Want to bet?
On defense.
You want to bet? How much you want to bet?
Now the real question is going to be against the Jets.
You want to bet? Come on. You're a betting man.
What's the bet with 𝐿𝐻𝐾𝐽?
𝐿𝐻𝐾𝐽 wouldn't even dare to bet me on this one now. I'm telling you that right now, especially if he's going to be a wide receiver 90% of the time. Oh, good luck.
Well, Quentin did say he prefers him to play corner over receiver, too.
Absolutely. And I think they're making a big mistake.
Didn't he say 60, 70, 30, 60, 40, wasn't it?
I think he said 70-30.
70-30. And he said 70-30 as a corner. I think they're choosing the wrong position for him to play as the wide receiver more than the corner. But I'm going to tell you right now, he's not going to have one interception this year. And I think he's one of the most overrated, highly touted players I've ever heard come out of the draft in, I would say, the last 20 years. He is not good. And I think you guys need to stop it. He's not Deion Sanders. He's not anywhere close to the talent Deion Sanders was. And Deion coming out and saying, well, he's better than I was. Deion, stop selling me something. You're selling me dry ice. That's what you're selling me. I'd rather chew on dry ice than actually believe that the Gremlin's going to be a good player in the NFL. That's it. No more talking about Travis Hunter.
Where does he actually fit in? So he's listed as a receiver?
He's listed as a receiver. I think he's going to end up. And I agree. I think he's primarily, his ceiling is higher as a corner, and that type of corner is more rare to find with his sort of ability and ball skills. His best position to me is corner, but he's still a top flight wide receiver prospect if he focuses on it. I think what's happening now is he's probably going to be more 65-35 wide receiver to start. He's going to get comfortable with the system and the offense and then sort of integrate slowly into the defense as time goes on. That seems to be the plan. I probably would have primarily had him on defense first and work him into the offense to start, but Liam Cohen is a mastermind. He clearly had great negotiation tactics that Errol's just not giving him enough respect for.
How many times
he took the Jacksonville job?
How many times?
He clearly has some savvy to him and some forethought. And so I'll trust Liam Cohen until he gives me a reason not to on this. But it seems more like 65-35 offense to start as he phases in more with the defense, as he shows he can handle the load on both sides of the ball, and they kind of take it from there. I'm curious to see how it's going to shake out, because to me, no matter how good you are, to me, it really is a really tall task to expect someone to play significant roles on both sides of the ball in today's NFL. It's just, that's so taxing on the body. The season's already long enough as it is. It's a different ball game than doing that in the Big 12.
So why wouldn't he get you double points then if he gets a pick six on the other side and then get you points for the defense if you have their defense? Sounds good to me.
Well, in All-22, we have depth charts. So, if you have Travis Hunter on your team.
Can you play him? Are you going to be able to play him at both if you draft him?
I actually draft. So right now he's listed as just a wide receiver based on what they've discussed so far as the plans. But, that could always be updated as he does play more defense. And then, we'll have something for that on the platform. I did draft him in some of my leagues, and I'm anticipating an eventual sort of 2-for-1 there.
Don't worry, Ray. You could draft him in our All-22 league and give Errol a bunch of trade proposals.
I know he won't snipe me for him, so it's good.
Here's the words that I caught up on anything, all the things that he just said. Shake and load. That's about it. And he has this love fest for Cohen. So I don't know what he's thinking in his head right now, but there might be something coming. Where is he? Oh, that's right. He's in Jacksonville. Maybe we should ship you over there.
Ray is right. Ray is right about one thing. He is a genius for being the one that finally forced the Jaguars to fire Trent Baalke, who had the best run of mediocrity since the Jason Garrett era.
I never said Baalke was good, okay? I never said that Baalke was good, and I think Jacksonville is one of the worst organizations in the NFL, and the NFL with one of the more popular owners out of all the NFL owners, because he speaks very highly. His son's, owns a wrestling organization. I mean, he's all what you want as an owner. He loves to dip his hands in and everything. That's what you like from an owner. But when you have a guy that didn't want the job and then all of a sudden jumps and takes the job at the last minute, and then they move up and give up a significant amount to get the gremlin and expect this guy to be a star wide receiver on the other side of Brian Thomas, where you have a prolific talent of that magnitude, good luck. It is an absolute joke. And by the way, Trevor Lawrence sucks. I got to add that one too. So there you go.
I got to say, Errol, it doesn't take a lot to go out on a limb against the Jaguars.
Well, you know what?
It takes a real man to stand with the Jaguars and anticipate better days ahead.
Well, with all the things I'm dealing with tonight, including vertigo, I am not going to see two when I see that idiot on the football field. By the way, we are talking to co-founder of All-22 Fantasy Football, Ray Cotto. Ray, obviously the New York Jets have an interesting season. I think Aaron Glenn is a good coach. I like what he's saying. I like the fact that he's going out there and he's holding his players accountable. Justin Fields has a chance to prove himself this year. I think it was you that really liked Justin Fields when he came out of the draft. He never really got a chance to develop.
It wasn't me. Oh, it wasn't me.
Then it was your partner. It was your partner. It was
might have been Chris. Yeah,
it was Chris.
Was
but
probably the guy.
One of you guys really liked Justin Fields. I did. Eberflus was not the guy to coach him up. I didn't like the fact what they did over there in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin is definitely not a coach when it comes to a quarterback. Now he's with the Jets. Aaron Glenn, one of the reasons why he took the job is he told the Jets, go get Justin Fields. Your thoughts to Justin Fields this year if he gets the chance to flourish with Garrett Wilson and maybe Olave? I mean, there's stories coming out that they're gonna go after Olave before the season starts. Maybe they get Olave and Garrett Wilson, two wide receivers he played with Ohio State.
The question with Justin Fields is really how far do you want to go? Because if you're trying to be a Super Bowl contender with Justin Fields as your quarterback, it's just not going to happen. Now, can you build enough of an offense around him or enough of a team around him and using his legs, you can manufacture enough offense to win 9 or 10 games in the regular season, make the wild card round, maybe win a playoff game? Sure. I think that's the high watermark for Justin Fields because to me, there are simply inherent fatal flaws in his game when it comes to processing speed within the pocket that your legs can't always get you out of. And that's a part of his game that never developed. It didn't develop in college. It never had to develop in college because of what he was surrounded by. You could sit back in the pocket for 4+ seconds and wait for your primary read to come open, not even worry about processing the entire field at that point and still put up 40-something points a game. And so that part of his game has never developed. And a lot of that really is innate. And Fields is just not that innate processor. He holds onto the ball a long time and then will try to make things happen with his legs. And that can't always bail you out of trouble. So can the Jets be an above 500 team, a wild card type of contender, given that the offensive line is better, defense is going to be solid. He does have a rapport with Garrett Wilson. Maybe Mason Taylor as a young tight end kind of gives them a new dimension they haven't had before. Braylon Allen's getting a ton of buzz. We'll see about that. Sure. But as long as we're realistic about the expectations and we're not sitting here bad-mouthing him after a playoff loss.
All right.
I want to hear you. I don't want to hear you ranting and raving.
I'm getting angry with you tonight.
I don't want you to be heartbroken.
You're really pissing me off tonight. You're helping me. You're telling me that it can't work with Justin Fields, but it worked with Jalen Hurts over there in Philadelphia. Are you going to tell me that they're not the same player? They're practically the same friggin' player. So to sit here and say, well, it's not going to work. What is Philadelphia built on? Great defense. What is Philadelphia built on? Great running back. That's what the Jets have. And what is Philadelphia known for? Well, not for great coaching. That's for damn sure. And the Jets actually have a decent coach. They have practically a quarterback that can do the same thing that Jalen Hurts could do. And Jalen Hurts, and I'm not saying that Justin Fields is Jalen Hurts, but they're very similar in their games. To sit here and say they can't win with him or they can't go to a Super Bowl, I'm not saying that they will. And I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl this year. But to come out here as a Cowboy fan and tell me that the Gremlins Gremlin is going to have a documentary in 25 years, and they're going to build a statue of him over there in Jacksonville. I don't know. Do you eat paint chips or something? I don't know what's going on with you tonight. I'm a little lost here. I love you, man. I love what you do. I love everything that you do on social media. I follow you. I laugh at some of the things you post, and I love what you're doing right now for All-22. But if you're going to come out here tonight and tell me that I am going to appreciate what the Gremlin is 25 years, you're wrong. And when you're going to come out here and tell me, hey, you know what, Trevor Lawrence is my guy. He's going to be a guy that you're going to definitely go draft in your fantasy draft. Now, man, you're smoking some ganja, you're drinking, you're sniffing some lines, whatever the hell you're doing, enjoy it. You are lost, my friend. I love you.
When's the last time you had your heart broken? When's the last time you had your heart broken?
Oh, my God. I don't know. You're breaking my heart right now. So I guess within the last 5 minutes, you broke my heart.
I'm trying to save you from that heartbreak feeling, and you're just, I can't, it looks like I just have to let you go. You're just going to have to,
What was this? What are we, on the Titanic or something? You're never going to let me go?
You're getting your hopes up about the Jets again. And you're doing it with Justin Fields. It's like a double whammy. It's like 2 strikes and we haven't even taken the match.
First of all, buddy, I could give a crap about what anybody thinks about the New York Jets. I already know the Jets are going to fall flat on their face, okay? They always do. But as far as I'm concerned, so are your Cowboys, okay?
Oh,
so
of course.
we're going to sit here and we're going to talk about, well, look at the Jets. I think Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. I think the organization has done well in, unwell giving him weapons. Now finally made a good move to bring in George Pickens, but they're not going to be able to pay him. And now they're going to have to overpay Micah Parsons to keep him. So your organization is falling flat on their face.
Don't worry, they sealed Jake Ferguson.
But again, who are they going to blame it on?
There you go, the GOAT.
Who are they going to blame it on? Oh, Jerry Jones, the guy that has given your organization opportunity after opportunity to make money and put that organization right on the platform to be America's team. And now all of a sudden you hate him. You don't want to watch his documentary. Shame on you, buddy. Shame on you.
Don't worry, they hired
I
the
never
iconic
thought I would
Brian
have seen this day.
Schottenheimer.
Listen, I stick up for Dak Prescott all the time. I am a Dak Prescott supporter. There are so many Cowboy fans that don't understand how good they have it. And when he is gone, he's way better than Tony Romo. If you look at what Troy Aikman has done, and yes, he's not Troy Aikman because Troy Aikman had Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin and a great offensive line. But if you consider to look at both those guys' numbers, they're very similar. But a guy that can actually move outside of the pocket and make throws on the run, something that Troy couldn't do. I just think that Cowboy fans don't realize how good they have it, as well as Giant fans didn't realize how good they had it until Eli Manning was gone and gone for the count and going, Omaha, on that stupid ESPN take. So I'm just speaking the truth here. You guys have an opportunity to build and win a championship with Dak Prescott. You'll never do that until you give him the weapons that he needs.
The problem with that is that we gave out too many bad contracts like Ezekiel Elliott, which everyone saw was going to be a train wreck from a mile away, that prevent us from making the type of deals in free agency that would build a team good enough to actually contend truly for a Super Bowl. And we rely on the select few that we do have, guys like Dak Prescott, guys like Micah Parsons while he was on his rookie contract, guys like CeeDee Lamb, to make up for those holes elsewhere on the roster. And come playoff time, you can't do that for 4 and 5 weeks straight, especially when you don't have a coaching advantage and you are sort of dealing with Mike McCarthy is a coach from the aughts. His type of system just doesn't work anymore. No one else would have hired that guy to run their offense and run their team. But of course, Jerry Jones did. Because that's what Jerry does. He lives in the past, just like with this Netflix special. But I know you're going to jump in now because you are now Jerry Jones's biggest fan, which is just lovely to see.
Did you just say that McCarthy would not work anywhere else when it comes to offenses? If you look at the Cowboys and their record and their offense over the last couple of years, it's been one of the best in football. What are you talking about?
If you watch closely, the offensive success. The success of the offense was either through 2-minute drills or no huddle when Dak was the one making the calls at the line and not Mike McCarthy's play calls. Go back and watch. I promise you'll notice the same
and
thing.
And that picture with Paterno, I was actually hiding behind you two. I know Fish used that magical cartoon in the background to take me out of it. If you really look deeply, I'm behind Paterno and I'm like waving. So I was actually in that picture. I was taken out of that picture. But anyways, I'm lost here tonight. I want to tell you that. I have lost my will as a Jet fan. I've lost my will to even listen to this All-22 fantasy guru over here. But I'm going to give you a little bit of credit here. When I look at what you have done for All-22 and what you and your partner and your organization has done, it's given fans a hope that now when you look at football, you're not just looking at the offensive side, you're looking also at the defensive side and building depth throughout the season to play All-22. That I think is great. The only problem here is when we played All-22, you had to draft 5,500 rounds of something. It took like 5 hours to draft your team. That you need to clean up, buddy. That's what you need to clean up. But everything else, sensational. So I got to give you a little bit of credit for that.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. If I knew you were rushing to run back and watch Jerry Jones's documentary, I would.
I'm done. I watched the whole
days,
thing.
so.
I watched the whole thing. It was great. In 2 days, I got a chance to experience the greatness of Jerry Jones and your Dallas Cowboys of the 90s. Emmett Smith's greatness. Michael Irvin loving the cracking and sniffing the cocaine. I'm loving it. I mean, I would have hung out with Michael Irvin in those days, too. And all the strippers he was getting, forget about it. I mean, me and Michael Irvin would have been best buddies. So I
got a Michael Irvin story, but that's offline. I can't say that.
Well, please don't do it. I don't want to get you in trouble, and I definitely want to get Michael Irvin on the show. So if you're going to scare Michael Irvin away, I don't want to hear it. So
he was great. Yeah, we'll talk offline.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be really, really good. But I do appreciate everything that you're doing. And where's your partner? What's going on with him? Why is he never showing up when it comes to this show? Is there something about this show that he doesn't like? I mean, seriously.
I think if you had this newfound love for Jerry Jones, he probably would have made time to come on. I think he's out traveling right now, coming back from the New York City area. So he's probably in his car right now, going to listen to this when he gets back, I'm sure. But I'll skewer him for you. I'll give him a hard time and make sure that put some pressure on him so you can invite him back and you can have him on the show soon.
Right, maybe he's trying to hack the system so Travis Hunter ends up on his All-22 team.
Are you kidding me? I would never draft Travis Hunter, even if he was the last guy on the list of guys to draft. You will never see Errol Marks ever in the next 10 years, if he's even in the NFL, because I say 4 years he will be out of the NFL. I will never, repeat myself, never draft Travis the Gremlin Hunter ever in any kind of fantasy draft. So you could take that, you can book it, and I promise you can staple that on your walls, and remember I said that. So there you go. As far as I'm concerned, with your one and only All-22, you definitely got to check it out. Are we going to do that this year again? Are we going to
Ray said he contacted the commissioner that hasn't gotten back to him.
Commissioner Gordon?
Go in the chat. Go in the chat. It's the Fantasy Guys guy. Go in the chat and just start spamming him. Like, guys, let's set the schedule up for the draft. So I was actually surprised to learn that this league I'm actually not the commissioner in, because I'm commissioner in about 16 of these leagues. So,
Ray, realistically, I know you have your own, but how many are you actually in?
Probably about a dozen, a little over a dozen, maybe.
How?
It's a way of life. It's a way of life, Jabba.
I understand that. I mean, it's your job, but I'm confused.
You find yourself, or at least I find myself, when I stick to the same philosophy. I'm not the type of guy. I know a lot of people sometimes, if they're in a lot of leagues, they diversify, so that if they get a season-ending injury to a high-profile player, it doesn't sink 6 of their teams. That's not me. I have my philosophy and I stick to it each and every time. So I end up with a lot of shares.
Similar?
Yeah, they're similar enough to where if I know, whoever, Chris Godwin is having a great game or something, it's going to be good for the majority of my teams. Okay. And I'm going to benefit from it. So I still don't have that uber conflicted feeling when I'm watching football because, it's good for half of my teams and not good for the other.
Right.
I stick to my philosophy.
He sticks, he loads, he rubs, he does everything, ladies and gentlemen, and he loves Travis Hunter. So, I mean, this guy is wonderful. And by the way, if you really want to check out some of the things that he's posting as his top 5 quarterbacks to draft, simply look for Trevor Lawrence as one of the guys for you to draft in any one of his lists. Thank you very much, Ray. We love you so very much. I'm just kidding. You know I love you. I love busting your balls. I love busting Chris's balls. I just love it. And yes, I am not a newfound Jerry Jones fan. I think Jerry Jones is a lot more interesting to listen to now because you know the back end and the background of who he is as a man and what he has done for professional football. That's all I'm saying. I didn't realize how important he has been for the NFL and the National Football League. And now he bought a team that was really not worth anything, and the league was worth nothing when he took over in 1989, and he turned the NFL and changed the NFL into a multi-billion-dollar organization and the richest, and is bringing in more money when it comes to riches and sponsorships and advertisements because of him. He is the reason why the NFL is where it is today. So it's very interesting. It's very intriguing. And if you're a football fan, you got to check it out. All right, Ray, we love you. Have a very good night, my friend. And whatever
I already
happens.
have.
And by the way, we're doing a job in the mouth fantasy league. We're going to do it this year. You and your buddy over there should be joining it. We should definitely get it together. I'll have Speedy set it up. Job will be a part of it. Nick Goody will be a part of it. We'll all be a part of it. And we will watch you fall flat on your face because you're going to draft the Travis, the one, the Hunter, the Gremlin himself as your number 1, number 2 pick, or something of that magnitude.
Everybody has to do a name that's based on Nathan drops.
Dropping the hammer, or just
Breaking news. Goody has no Woody. Bagel hole. Yum yum.
No, I get
Butt
big-
plug.
I get
Glory
bagel
hole.
hole. I already
all
got
right.
bagel.
Anyways, we love you, Ray. Thank you very much, my bud, and we will talk to you soon.
Always a pleasure, guys. Really appreciate it.